All right, in some breaking news coming in the Shakti Mills gang rape case, all the four have been found guilty in both the gang rape cases. Remember, two people were raped, a photojournalist and a telephone operator. Well, Tejas Mehta joins us on the phone line for more. Tejas, what are the details? What did the court have to say?
Well, of course, the details will emerge in the judgment, but the operative part is out by the Mumbai Sessions Court. There were two cases, if you remember well. First was the gang rape of the 23-year-old photojournalist, which took place in the desolate and defunct Shakti Mills, which was in the heart of Mumbai. And the second one was of a telephone operator that really took place 1 month prior to that in July 2013. And by the same four accused, she identified them. She came out in the open and she had revealed to the police, saying that the same men had gang raped her too. So in both these cases, which were separate cases, but of course the hearings took place together itself. Both these cases, the four accused have all been found guilty. Now the maximum punishment, of course, is life in this case. As many are pointing out, this was a gang rape, yes, but under the new amended rape laws, they have not, the victims, the survivors did not really suffer grievous injuries, physical injuries, or were not killed, and therefore under the new law, what the lawyers have been saying is that they could get the life imprisonment. But the big story, big news coming at this point of time is that all four have been found guilty by the Mumbai Sessions Court. There is one more accused, but of course he's a minor, and therefore he is being tried by a juvenile court. Now, let's quickly go back and recap what really happened in August 2013. This was a Shakti Mills compound. Is an old textile mill in Mumbai. It is defunct. It is completely isolated in a spooky place as such. And this photojournalist, 23-year-old, an intern working in a media house in Mumbai, and she, along with her colleague, had gone down there in the evening to take some photographs. They were on an assignment there. They were on work, on duty, and they went inside, and then they were stopped by these men, and soon they called in more. They called in their friends. They were drinking. Many of them also were on drugs, and then one by one they repeatedly raped her. As they also had tied the male colleague, and then she even called her mother in between, but she could not tell her what exactly happened. And finally, they let her go. This happened very close to the Mahalakshmi race course, per se, Mahalakshmi station, which is in the heart of Mumbai, Gargi, and that had really shocked the entire city. Just coming, almost about 9 to 10 months after the Nirbhaya Delhi gang rape case, and it shocked the city of Mumbai. It was a desolate, isolated place, but happening during the day, it chilled down the Mumbai itself. It had, lot of protests were, seen in Mumbai and across the country after this particular gang rape case. Immediately, in about
Right. Well, we seem to have lost the line there with Tejas, but that's the big breaking news coming in from Mumbai. The court has found all four accused in the gang rape case, the Shakti Mills gang rape case, as it was called. They found them to be guilty. There were two cases, in fact. One was of the photojournalist and who was gang raped there after she had gone on an assignment. It was an extremely shocking incident, especially given how safe Mumbai is considered for women, and also the fact that this woman who had gone on an official assignment was so vulnerable that at this area, the Shakti Mills, an abandoned mills area, she was raped there. And once this case had come out, another person came forward, a telephone operator who came forward and said that she too had been gang raped in the same area by the very same people just a month before this. So both cases extremely shocking. It was an extremely traumatic trial for the young women involved, the photojournalist even fainting in court when she had to give her testimony. But today, this comes 7 months later, we find that the lower court at least has found all four accused guilty. Well, Tejas is back with us on the phone line. Tejas, 7 months for that verdict to come in, we would call that pretty speedy, wouldn't we?
Absolutely. I mean, this entire trial was, of course, in camera, and about 75 witnesses were summoned to the court. Most of them were, eyewitnesses who were nearby, who saw these people later on. Many of them, of course, confidants of the survivors itself. So all of them gave testimonies. And one very interesting or a tragic moment inside the court itself, Gargi, when the photojournalist was summoned in there and she was deposing before the court and narrating exactly what really happened, completely broke her down, and she fainted inside the court itself. And even as the accused were sitting right there itself. Even the other survivor, the telephone operator, in her case too, she was so angry, and torn by what really happened to her that she told the judge, she told the court that she wants to slap her tormentors. So that's the amount of trauma and how disturbed these two women really were. But finally today, the order coming in 7 months' time, Ujjwal Nikam was the special public prosecutor in this case, and the judgment has come, as you are saying, in pretty quick, a short period of time. The trial, of course, happening on a day-to-day basis here in Mumbai itself, and in both cases, the judgment coming today itself. The first case of the photojournalist and the second one of the telephone operator. In both cases, the Mumbai Sessions Court has found all the four accused guilty in this case, and of course they still have to argue on the quantum of sentence which will be awarded to them, but that could extend up to life imprisonment under the amendments in the anti-rape laws which were brought into were implemented soon after what happened in Delhi itself. So now we await what the quantum of sentence will be, but the judgment coming, as you're pointing out, pretty quickly, and some sense of justice for both these survivors. Of course, they had requested the media not to really, disturb their privacy, and that had really been maintained by the media. We perhaps will get some sort of statement from the family itself, because they had given a statement earlier to
all right, Tejas, sorry to interrupt you there. We're also getting more reactions. Joining us on the phone line, Flavia Agnes, women's rights activist from Mumbai. Ma'am, thank you for speaking to NDTV. Your reaction to this judgment, all four in the gang rape case found guilty, and this judgment coming 7 months after the gang rape.
Yeah, I think it was an expected judgment. I'm not surprised at all. And we have been with the case from the time the FIR was filed, and when following up the progress of this case throughout. So every law provision has been abided by, both by the courts and by the police. And the state has done everything possible in order to get the conviction.
Ma'am, this was a case that had really shaken Mumbai, especially given the young girl involved, the fact that she had gone on an assignment to this area and then that she was raped. And we heard many statements coming from leaders from the police, how they'll make Mumbai safer after this. You've been tracking the case. What would you have to say on that?
About tracking the case or about Mumbai city? Hello?
Yes, ma'am, about Mumbai, about the statements that were made at the time of this gang rape, and would you feel Mumbai is safer since then? Have efforts been made?
See, Mumbai is a safe city or not is a very broad statement, and that is not my area of work. What I would like to say is whether the police are more responsive to the victims, and whether the law is going on track, and whether all the legal provisions after the criminal law amendment are being followed by the police and by the courts. I would say yes, that is really happening, and if that is a deterrent, if punishment, quick punishment, fast punishment, as well as per the law punishment, all these factors are deterrent, then yes, definitely Mumbai is going towards making the city safe. But according to me, that is not enough, because making the city safe is something else. That it has to be pre-commission of a crime, and I don't think that all these efforts are going towards that direction, and something else needs to be done. If the father is getting the daughter, if the brother is getting the sister, right, if the watchman is getting a young girl, so these things also needs to be done. And we will concentrate on those aspects which are more on the mindset and also in our relationships with each other.
All right. Thank you, Flavia Agnes, for speaking to NDTV. Now, joining me in studio, Nishtha Gautam, Observer Research Foundation and activist. Thank you for being with us. So, this was a case that had really shaken Mumbai. It had, in fact, across the country, there was horror after this incident. And now the verdict coming just 7 months later. So, a good sign there?
Certainly. I mean, if such diligence could have been displayed earlier, had the system started working so diligently, I mean, these things would have been nipped in bud. So it's a very good start that has taken place now, and I believe it would send a very strong message to potential offenders. What strikes me as very interesting in this particular case is that these men, they did not have any fear of law. Because they are repeated offenders, they do the same thing, they undertake the same horrendous action in the same premises twice within a gap of what, a few days?
A few weeks. And in fact, that was the very shocking thing, that after this case came to light, another woman came forward and said it happened to her there at the same place earlier. But she obviously was too fearful to come forward.
So I think it's a very good beginning that the judiciary and also the police have made, and I really hope that it goes on. And if such kind of commitment can be shown, at a broad base, then I don't see a reason why women, or for that matter men, would not feel safe going out in streets.
Right. At the time that this entire case happened, the gang rape and of course the media furor that followed after that, one thing that did stand out was the courage of this young girl. She was very courageous. She said she wanted to follow this to the end. She wanted her rapist caught. I remember that being reported widely as well. So because of course this was a case that could damage younger women and make them more fearful about venturing out for work.
No, why would anything like that? See, rape is an accident, and I've been maintaining it for quite some time that rape is just an accident. As you can be, it's just like a hit and run.
All right, sorry to interrupt you. They were also joined on the phone line by Mr. Himanshu Roy, Maharashtra ATS chief. He was earlier the joint CP of crime. Thank you, sir, for being with us, and congratulations. The first verdict in this case coming within 7 months, and of course the hope is that the police will always act this diligently.
Thank you, Gargi. It is certainly a vindication of the investigation, and we're really happy with this verdict which has come today.
Right, so as we were discussing, the fact is that these rapists, the four of them, had committed the very same crime just a month earlier than this gang rape took place in August. And really the fact is that women have to be made to feel safer, and also these criminals must feel that they will be punished.
Absolutely. In fact, when this incident was reported to us, we were surprised that something like this can happen in our city in daylight. And so we put all our resources on the job, and we could round them up in 24 hours, in 72 hours. And we put everything, we threw really everything we had at them to ensure a conviction. And I think this is going to send a strong signal to would-be offenders, and also reassure women of our great city that they will always be safe here.
Also, this case would, of course, be watched very closely by police across the country in the manner in which you went about it. If you could tell us a bit about the investigations and what sort of evidences you collected.
Primarily, the statement of the witness, the victim herself, was very important, which she made before a magistrate. That was a very strong statement she made, and I must commend her for that. Besides that, we had very good forensic evidence in the form of DNA reports, which matched with those of the accused. We had eyewitness accounts, we had technical evidence of their location there, and also the test identification parade in which they were identified before a magistrate as the offenders. So all these things together formed a very strong evidence, dovetailed into each other, supported each other, which ultimately ensured a conviction.
Right, sir. Also, the victim in this case, she was also extremely brave and extremely determined to see justice done.
Well, I have no words which can really commend her enough for the wonderful effort that she has put in, the way she has stood up tall and with courage and has given her testimony in this case, has cooperated with the investigation, and has ensured that these accused have been convicted. It's a tremendous job, and hats off to her.
All right. Thank you so much, Himanshu Roy, for speaking to us. Himanshu Roy, who is now the Maharashtra ATS chief, then he was a joint commissioner of crime. And returning to Nishtha, like what Mr. Himanshu Roy was talking about the fact that, that the girl in question was also very brave, and the police was also very diligent, the way they moved around. And this will be something that will be watched by police in other parts of the country as well.
Certainly, I think they should all exchange notes. But, when you asked Mr. Roy what was the modus operandi of investigation, I don't think we should be discussing all this on national television.
No, how they went about it, what sort of evidence is, because that invariably what happens is the police don't collect enough evidence or watertight evidence, so to speak, whether it be forensic or even the cellular evidence that they collected. And of course, he's saying that the girl's testimony was very important.
The biggest problem with investigations, as I studied during the Delhi gang rape and other gang rapes that happen all across, that even in a city like Delhi, it's our national capital, we do not have enough forensic labs. There is only one lab, if I'm not mistaken, and it is so overburdened with the samples collected, and it's just it's criminal to not have more forensic labs and to create more infrastructure so that investigations can be carried out in a more efficient manner. And more than the punishment, I've always maintained that it is the conviction that is more important, because that is something that sends a right message to the society that no matter what, no matter how powerful you are, but if you are caught doing something wrong, you will be punished. Be assured of that.
आज जो न्यायालय से फैसला आया है, उससे पीड़ित महिला और उनके परिवार को सही न्याय मिला है। अत्यंत कम समय में चार्जशीट दर्ज किया गया था। हर रोज सुनावनी करके बहुत कम समय में आज जजमेंट भी आया है। दोनों घटना जो घटी थी भयानक थी, उसमें आरोप साबित हुए हैं, उस परिवार को न्याय मिला है।
अब आप गृह मंत्री होकर पहली बार हम देख रहे हैं कि अदालत में फैसले के समय गृह मंत्री यहाँ पर आए हैं, तो क्या एक संदेश देना चाहते हैं और कितना गंभीर मानती है, अहम मानती है इस फैसले को?
मुंबई शहर महिलाओं के लिए पूरे देश में एक से सबसे सुरक्षित शहर माना जाता है। फिर भी हमारे शहर में एक भयानक घटना हुई थी। पूरे महाराष्ट्र के लिए नहीं, देश के लिए एक महत्वपूर्ण मुकदमा था और उसका फैसला आ गया है।
महिला सुरक्षा के लिए आप क्या आगे किस तरह प्रयत्न किए जाएंगे? एक केस आज दर्ज हुआ है, मामला एक सबक साबित होगा।
ये घटना घटने के बाद बहुत सारे उपाय योजना महिला सुरक्षा के लिए मुंबई पुलिस की तरफ से और महाराष्ट्र पुलिस की तरफ से की गई है। मेरा विनम्र दावा है, आज भी देश में जितने बड़े शहर है उसमें मुंबई में हमारे बहनें और महिला सुरक्षित है। फिर भी आगे जाकर कोई कमियां न रहने के लिए हम पूरी कोशिश करेंगे। इस फैसले से गुनहगारों को एक अच्छा मैसेज जाएगा, दोबारा ऐसी घटना करने की हिम्मत कोई न करे। इस बारे में हमारे एडवोकेट कोर्ट में कहेंगे, यहाँ मैंने बोलना ठीक नहीं होगा। शिक्षेच्या बाबतीत
सामूहिक बलात्कार होता था मुंबई में, जिस तरह से इन आरोपियों को सजा मिलेगी, आपको सजा एक्शन मिलेगा।
मैंने वो यहाँ बोलना ठीक नहीं होगा, लेकिन इस बारे में हमारे वकील कोर्ट में बताएंगे।
तुम्ही बोलताय मुंबई सुरक्षित आहे, काल 1-2 दिवसापूर्वी सामूहिक घटना मुंबईत झालेल्या आहे अल्पवयीन मुलीवर, त्याबद्दल काय बोलाल?
आपण लोकांच्याकडून सूचना मागवलेल्या आहेत, अनेक NGOचं सहकार्य घेतोय, अत्यंत आधुनिक तंत्रज्ञानाचा वापर करून महिलांच्या सुरक्षेसाठी अनेक उपाययोजना मुंबई पोलीस दलामार्फत करण्यात आलेल्या आहेत। जर कामावर जाणारी एकाकी महिला असेल आणि तिला केवळ शंका आली तरी सुद्धा पोलिसांना सक्त सूचना दिलेल्या आहेत, तिला सुरक्षित स्थळापर्यंत
All right, so that is the Home Minister of Maharashtra, R.R. Patil. They're reacting to the verdict that's come in. All the 4 accused in the Shakti Mills gang rape cases have been found guilty. R.R. Patil talking about how the verdict has come in a short time and justice has been delivered quickly, and how this will be a very strong message in the city against for criminals and those who may indulge in such criminal activity. This was a case that had really shocked Mumbai and the nation when a young photojournalist was gang raped when she'd gone on assignment to Shakti Mills complex. It's an abandoned mills area in Mumbai. This had taken place in August 2013, and now 7 months later comes the verdict from the trial court. All 4 have been found guilty. There is a 5th, but he is a juvenile and he is being tried separately.